All right, so this week we saw the hate Trump, destroy Trump, mainstream media blatantly rooting for the Democrats to win in 4 days. In case you missed it, well, here are some of the examples.
If you want a slight check on this man and his unrelenting race to the finish here to make sure he can continue destroying this country, you might want to vote all D.
Instead of standing up to this kind of hate mongering by President Trump, Republicans are imitating it.
I know I haven't stopped praying since you were elected. Dear God, when will this end?
All right, joining us now with reaction, White House Press Secretary, the hardest job in the entire universe. Sarah Sanders is with us. Good to see you. This went from, look, there's been nonstop hate almost from the day Melania and the president came down the escalator. But this took on a whole new level this week. Racist, Nazi comparisons, just never ending. Blaming the president for the synagogue shooting, and yet the guy that shot up the synagogue and committed that act of terror, that anti-Semitic act, hated Trump because of his strong support for Israel. That's how bad things have gotten.
It's absolutely disgusting. I'm just glad to see there's no bias in the media. That's my favorite part of all the clips that you just showed, is that they constantly talk about how they're fair in their reporting. But what you just gave us was a glimpse into every day with many in the media. One of the saddest truths is that they want to blame this president for every single problem in the world, but refuse to give him any credit for all of the success that he's had. It's absolutely outrageous, and I think you just saw a great taste and a sad truth of what we deal with, unfortunately, every day.
You know, for example, you watch fake news CNN, and they deserve every criticism they get. It is almost every second, every minute, every hour of every day that this is all that they do is demonize the president. And it's not even deep. It's gone beyond what we get every 2 and 4 years. Racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, dirty air, water, kill children and throw granny over the cliff. Now it's responsible for terrorism or some nut that you know, sends bombs to innocent people.
One of the things that I found so startling, there was a poll that came out just today that showed over 60% of the country feels like the media is dividing the country, and only 17% thinks they actually do anything to help bring people together. Yet they continue to try to place the blame on the president. It is absolutely outrageous. We saw CNN, the first thing they did after the suspicious packages were mailed, it wasn't to condemn the individual. It was to go after the president. The first thing the president did was condemn the individual, go after that person. At some point, Democrats and the media have to put personal responsibility on people that are carrying out these heinous acts and doing these despicable things. Yet they continue to want to try to put every single bad thing in the world on the president. And it's just getting out of control.
In a weird way, and it was funny to get lectured by Jeff Zucker, and I'm like, watch thy own network, and you might see, you know, the very thing that they accuse the president of. But in a weird way, with the public 60+% seeing that the media is that way, I think I don't think it means as much. And now the president's been on the road. He's doing 11 stops in less than a week, and the president's gone all in on the campaign. And I don't believe the polls anymore, because I think there is an incalculable base of Trump voters that will never talk to the media or any pollster. They're going to go click and not answer or lie to them.
Absolutely, and you can see that at every one of the events that the president's hosted, not just over the next coming days, but what we've seen over the last month. It's unprecedented, the types of crowds and the people and the enthusiasm that the president is turning out, particularly when he's not on the ballot. And I think that we have great momentum going into Tuesday. There's great enthusiasm, and the reason is because the president has had an incredible 2 years, and people have to make a decision. Do they want to continue to go down the road that we're on under the president's leadership with a booming economy? One of the best economies we've seen in years, if not in history, is happened under this president, and that's because of the tax cuts. That's because of him getting rid of this job-killing regulations that have been a burden on businesses, particularly small businesses, over the last 8 years.
All right, we have 250,000 jobs, by the way, and normally when you have a hurricane, that impacts job creation. You have literally wage growth the highest since 2009, unemployment at a 49-year low. 4.5 million new jobs since the president was created. We have literally 8 million Americans off of food stamps and out of poverty in that time. And literally the best 2 years economically that we've ever had. And yet, I don't think I've ever watched any one of the big three networks, the New York Times, Washington Post, ever talk about what is really an economic miracle.
And they all said it couldn't be done. And frankly, Sean, the sad piece is I think a lot of people in the media want to see the president fail, and it drives them absolutely crazy that he continues to succeed week after week, month after month, and deliver on things they said that weren't possible under any president, much less under this president. And he continues to surprise them all, and I think he's going to do it again on Tuesday.
Whatever they pay you, it's not nearly enough. You couldn't pay anybody to. I don't know why you do this job.
I love our country, and I'm proud to serve in this administration. I think we've got a great story to tell, and I'm glad I get to do it.
Great answer. You're serving your country. Oh, yeah, this is, you're carrying a lot of heavy backpacks out there. But Sarah Sanders, thanks for being with us.
You bet. Thanks, Sean.